A 9-judge bench of the Supreme Court on Tuesday commenced the process for interpretation of Article 39 of the Constitution to determine whether this directive principle of state policy provision allows government to treat and redistribute privately owned properties under the grab of material resources of the community for greater common good. The interpretation by a bench comprising Chief Justices D.Y. Chandrachud and these dissenting view in Ranganatha Reddy case of 1977 that community resources included private properties and the conflation of the two in later judgments, leading to the matter being referred on February 20, 2002 for interpretation by a 9-judge bench. Article 39B provides that the state shall direct its policy towards securing that the ownership and control of the material resources of the community are so distributed as best to subserve the common good. Senior advocates Devraj and Samir Parikh argued that community resources could never include privately owned properties. Arguments will continue on Wednesday. PM Modi accused Congress on Tuesday of being so steeped in vote bank politics that it would not balk at snatching reservation from the SC and ST communities and passing it on to Muslims, like it attempting to do through a pilot project in Andhra Pradesh in 2004 before seeking to extend it to the rest of the country. Between 2004 and 2010, they tried to implement this plan in Andhra Pradesh 4 times, but because of legal hurdles and Supreme Court's whistle, they could not, Modi said in Rajasthan's strong Savai Madhopur on the penultimate day of campaign for the second and final phase of polls in the state this Friday. Reiterating the charge of Congress' hidden plan to redistribute assets, Modi said when the constitution was being drafted, there was considerable opposition to reservation on the basis of religion. But Manmohan Singh gave a speech, I was present there as Gujarat CM, in which he said Muslims have the first right to the country's wealth. This was not a coincidence. Asia remained the world's most disaster-hit region from weather, climate and water-related hazards by reporting 79 disasters in 23 that affected over 9 million people, World Meteorological Organization said in a report released on Tuesday. At least 34% of the 491 adolescents residing in an urban area in Delhi have been found to be suffering from common mental disorder, with 22% of them suffering from depression and 6.7% from anxiety. This has been revealed in a study conducted by the Center for Community Medicine and Department of Psychiatry at AIIMS. The study, conducted in Dakshinpuri extension of Ambedkar Nagar, an urban resettlement colony in southeast Delhi, also showed that those who were found to be suffering from common mental disorders were either smoking or consuming smokeless tobacco in some form or the other. At least 26 participants had used smoking tobacco and 25 participants had used smokeless tobacco such as gutka, khaini and pan masala in their lifetime. Among users, the majority reported using smokeless tobacco almost daily. According to the Global Burden of Disease study, depression and anxiety are the top 10 leading contributors to disability adjusted last year among adolescents and young adults in the age bracket of 10 to 24 years. The AIIMS study, published in the Indian Journal of Psychiatry on Monday, concluded that nearly a third of the adolescents who reside in urban Delhi have had an episode of depression or anxiety disorder in their lifetime. The higher prevalence of common mental disorders among adolescents in the area necessitates the need for preventive, promotive and curative mental health services. The principal investigator of the study, Aftab Ahmed, said the prevalence of the common mental disorders reported in the study is much more than the prevalence reported by the National Mental Health Survey in 15-16 in the age bracket of 13 to 17 years. It was 7% then. However, the survey undertook an evaluation of only a few adolescents by Minikid after the initial screening. This may have led to an underestimation of the actual burden of common mental disorders. The present study uses a validated diagnostic tool for estimating the burden. Hence, chances of getting a more robust estimate are better in the present study. Also, Delhi was not a part of the National Mental Health Survey, he said. Complying with the Delhi High Court's directions on April 8, Delhi Development Authority had issued notices to various agencies to ensure removal of construction waste and debris accumulated during construction of bridges, railway lines and regional railway networks on Yamuna River floodplains by June 30. We have issued notices to National Highway Authority of India, Public Works Department, National Capital Region Transport Corporation, Delhi Metro Rail Corporation and Delhi Jal Board. They have been asked to ensure compliance of court's order in letter and spirit. In case of any default, DDA will undertake the task of cleaning such construction waste and debris by itself, imposing suitable cost on the defaulter, stated DDA in a statement on Tuesday. Anuj Dayal, Principal Executive Director Corporate Communications DMRC, stated that there is absolutely no C&D waste accumulated due to DMRC work at the Yamuna bridge site. However, there are some construction related materials at the site which shall also be removed from the site in a phased manner by June 15. We have sent the response to the Irrigation Department and the same shall also be communicated to DDA, he said. An NCRTC official said the majority of the RRTS work in Yamuna Khadar has already been completed and restoration work was currently in progress. DDA is also nominating nodal officers for each stretch of the floodplain for sustained upkeep of the area under their jurisdiction. They will also be responsible to keep area free from encroachment and C&D waste on regular basis. The move will act as a mechanism of unhindered rejuvenation and redevelopment of Yamuna floodplains, stated the authority. Besides, DDA has also written to National Mission for Clean Ganga and Irrigation and Flood Control Department, Delhi Government for control and scientific dredging for removal of silt both upstream and downstream of the river Yamuna as per the court's direction. After a hot and sunny day, rain accompanied by gusty winds for nearly 1.5 hours brought respite on Tuesday evening. Following the rain and the wind due to western disturbance, the day temperature dipped to 36 degrees Celsius. After a hot and sunny day, rain accompanied by gusty winds for nearly 1.5 hours brought respite on Tuesday evening. Following the rain and the wind due to a western disturbance, the day temperature dipped to 36 degrees Celsius, 1 degree below normal. The data of Indian Meteorological Department shows that except Palam, most part of the city saw very light shower on Tuesday. Safdarjung region in North Delhi and Ayanagar saw trace rain, while Mungeshpur in Northwest Delhi and Jafarpur in Southwest Delhi lost this and this. The respite will, however, be short-lived, as the Met Department has predicted that the maximum temperature may touch to this and this. The maximum temperature is predicted to stay around 37 degrees Celsius on Wednesday, and it may rise to 39 degrees Celsius by April 26. Due to the impact of a western disturbance and formation of a cyclonic circulation over northeast Rajasthan and South Haryana on Tuesday, Delhi saw rain and gusty winds in the evening. However, the western disturbance has passed from Delhi, said Kuldeep Srivastav, scientist and head of IMD Regional Weather Forecasting Center. He added that another western disturbance would impact the region from May 2. The minimum temperature was recorded at 22 degrees Celsius, while the relative humidity oscillated between 28% and 66%. Meanwhile, Delhi's air quality index continued to remain in the moderate category at 188. The air quality is predicted to stay moderate for the next few days. Tihar Director General Sanjay Benwal on Tuesday told that the jail had over 900 diabetic patients, and it was the duty of the prison administration to ensure adequate care of all as per the jail manual. Health Minister Saurabh Bhardwaj stressed on the fact that while the doctors in jail had insisted that Kejriwal did not require insulin, a diabetologist was called from AIIMS after the court's direction. The specialist examined Arvind Kejriwal and found that he should be given insulin to check his high blood sugar levels. Bhardwaj said, Arvind Kejriwal is a huge Bhakt of Hanuman. He received insulin on the auspicious occasion of Hanuman Jayanti. This shows that whenever his devotees are in trouble, Hanumanji comes to their rescue, he said. Uniformity in religion, language and dress code would not work in India, as the nation is not for the one particular community, JNU Vice Chancellor Shanti Sri Dhulipadi Pandits had said. In an interaction with PTI, Pandit said educational institutions should respect individual choices and allow those wanting to wear a hijab to do so. I would not agree on uniformity in either religion, race, or language. One language should not be imposed. If some people want to change it to Hindi in some states, but in South it will be difficult. In East India, even in Maharashtra, I don't think Hindi is acceptable, she said. I would rather say that Hindi can be there, but I don't think a single language should be imposed. Both Nehru and Indira Gandhi were not fools to talk about their tri-language formula because in India uniformity does not work in any form, she added. The Vice Chancellor was responding to a question on the push for Hindi as a national language and one of the main mediums of instruction in teaching and learning. Language is a sensitive issue. One should be careful with it, she said. Pandit also said a single identity and religion would not work in the country. I don't think any one religion will work here as these are individual issues, but people at the helm want to do this. As a university, we should be above all this. For us, seeking knowledge is important. The nation is not for one particular community. Asked about her views on the dress code in educational institutions, Pandit said, it should be a personal choice. I am against the dress code. I think educational spaces should be open. If somebody wants to wear a hijab, it's their choice, and if somebody does not want to wear it, they should not be forced. Jawaharlal Nehru University Students' Union had hit out at Vice Chancellor Shantishri Pandit over her freeloaders on campus remark and accused her at failing to address slanderous narratives of certain films targeting the university. In an open letter to the VC, the union accused her of conveniently ignoring the lavish perks enjoyed by certain politically favored groups on campus and said she was a freeloader and not the students. Sudhir Kakkar, who psychoanalyzed India's past and present, producing an extraordinary broad sweep of nuance and pioneering work on subjects as diverse as religion, and medicine, communal violence and sexuality, passed away on Monday. He was 85. While Delhi continues to be the most polluted stretch of the Yamuna, 5 districts in UP are also discharging untreated sewage into the river. National Green Tribunal has recently observed a significant gap in the treatment of sewage flowing into the Ganga and its tributaries in 23 districts in UP. The tribunal has also asked the district magistrates concerned to prepare an action plan to address the situation. The order came after National Mission for Clean Ganga submitted a report which revealed a gap of 37 million gallons per day in sewage treatment in Bagpat, a city upstream of Wazirabad, and pointed out that gaps were also found in treating the sewage flowing into the river in many other cities of the state. People unable to maintain peace during a 6-hour Ram Navami celebration don't need an elective representative, Calcutta High Court asserted Tuesday while expressing dismay over clashes in Murshidabad districts Beldanga and Shaktipur on April 12, 13 and 17 that left at least 19 wounded. Chief Justice T.S. Shiv Nanam and Justices this Bhattacharya held that Lok Sabha polls scheduled for the May 4 and 13 in the region should be countermanded. If peoples can't live in peace and harmony, we will countermand the elections. If two sects of people are fighting like this, despite the model code of conduct being in place, they don't require an elected representative, the Chief Justice said. The bench made these observations while hearing petition including one by Muslim Rashtriya Manch seeking an NIA or a CBI probe into the violence in Beldanga and Shaktipur. Clashes in Shaktipur occurred immediately after a Ram Navami procession passed by a local mosque. The Chief Justice questioned government planner Amitesh Banerjee regarding events that triggered the clashes. Banerjee explained, some people found 2 flags hung in the area torn. To this, the judge remarked, lessons are lessons are never learnt, it is possibly because of elections. He highlighted that Ram Navami celebrations in 33 places in Kolkata proceeded peacefully. Congress Priyanka Gandhi Vadra on Tuesday lashed out at PM Modi over his gold and Mangalsutra remarks, saying her mother Sonia sacrificed her Mangalsutra for the country. 2 days back, there were speeches that Congress wants to snatch your Mangalsutra. Congress has been in office for 55 years. Did Congress ever snatch your gold or Mangalsutra? She said at a rally. When there was a war, Indira Gandhi donated her gold. Priyanka Gandhi said, "My mother's Mangalsutra was sacrificed for this country," she said, referring to the assassination of her father Rajiv Gandhi. Union Home Minister Amit Shah denied on Tuesday claims that BJP would change the constitution and abolish quotas if voted to power, saying we want 400 par to implement bold reforms to transform the nation. BJP is committed to maintaining reservations for backward communities, he said at a rally in Akola. Appealing to people to vote for BJP nominee Anup Dhotre, Shah lashed out the India bloc for opposing construction of Ram Mandir at Ayodhya and mentioned that under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, the temple's foundation and construction were completed in 5 years. Shah also appealed to voters to press the EVM buttons with such force that the current should reach Italy, a statement seen as a jibe about the Congress Sonia Gandhi. The Union Home Minister vigorously addressed allegations by Congress regarding BJP's stance on reservation. He highlighted several key reforms and measures taken by BJP government, including nullification of Article 370 and introduction of the National Register of Citizens and Citizenship Amendment Act. He emphasized that these steps have been. Prime Minister Modi focused Tuesday on Congress efforts to introduce quota for Muslims mark a significant escalation of BJP's appeasement charge against the opposition party. PM fired the Muslim quota slave while addressing at a rally at Tong Savai Madhopur in Rajasthan, his last engagement in the state for Lok Sabha polls, and said Congress has for long made separate efforts to implement Muslim quota despite the prohibition laid down for Baba Sahib Ambedkar's constitution on religion-based reservations. The attack came even as Congress was still angrily protesting against PM's remark at Banswara, also in Rajasthan, on Sunday that Congress' pitch for redistribution of assets was part of a plan to take away assets from people and distribute among people who going by his predecessor. Manmohan Singh's 2006 speech at National Development Council can only be Muslims, while Election Commission has started an inquiry into Congress' complaint that the Banswara speech was communal and therefore violative of the Model Code of Conduct. PM Modi repeated the charge and rebutted Congress' protest about Singh's statement having been distorted, saying, "I was present at the meeting of the NDC." Going by indications, the PM's consecutive volleys could be part of a large offensive against the equity sections of the Congress manifesto for allegedly seeking to create an opening for Muslims not just in jobs and education but also in health care, public contracts, skill development, even sports, something which might push the electoral contest from now on to secular communal terrain. Extreme weather events may pose a risk to inflation with prolonged geopolitical tensions that could keep crude oil prices volatile. RBI State of the Economy reports said on Tuesday. It, however, added that conditions are shaping up for an extension of a trend upshift in real GDP growth backed by strong investment demand and upbeat business and consumer sentiments. The report warns of climate risks such as increase in above normal heat waves days across India. The report suggests monitoring of food prices and overlapping price shocks could occur before an above normal monsoon this year, as projected by the India Meteorological Department. The report states that to achieve India's developmental goals over the next 3 decades, the economy must grow at 8 to 10% annually to take advantage of dividend that started occurring in 18 and will persist until 55. Conditions are shaping up for an extension of the trend upshift that took the average real GDP growth above 8% during 21-24, the report said. According to government data, the economy grew at 8.4% from October-December, its fastest pace in a year and a half. This resulted in 3 consecutive quarters of growth over 8%. Several agencies have raised their growth estimates for India on the back of a stellar December quarter performance. Couple of weeks ago, an intelligence officer admitted in private his puzzlement about the uncertain electoral outcome in every Lok Sabha constituency in Karnataka, holding out a 50-50 probability of each of the Congress and BJP JDS candidates. His remarks stood in stark contrast to the downbeat single-digit victory estimates that Congress politicians themselves would have settled for until then. This electoral trend, he thought, could be explained by the success of the Congress state government's welfare schemes. In fact, for all three parties in the fray, the Karnataka Lok Sabha battle is playing out along similar lines as the assembly elections almost a year ago. Recent days have seen such media discussion about the grassroots popularity of Karnataka CM Siddaramaia's welfare schemes, which may well prove a game changer in these elections. There is a widespread feeling that the chances of BJP, which won 25 of the 28 Lok Sabha seats in 19, are winning, while Congress morale is palpably on the rise. Congress has also attacked Modi government for denying Karnataka its fair share of tax revenues and for refusing to release relief funds at a time of acute drought. The Congress campaign success in the state all draw on state level issues. The party has largely sidestepped the Indian National Congress Nyaya manifesto and the issues advanced by the India coalition. By contrast, despite former CM Yedurappa's confidence that BJP is banking on Modi magic, as in several other states, the party has levelled corruption charges against the Congress state government. But these are not gaining much traction in the absence of any demonstrable Congress scams. BJP has also been keeping clear of Hindutva rhetoric, revealing the subdued electoral appeal of the recently built Ram temple in Ayodhya. Strong anti-incumbency sentiments have made BJP drop 8 of its 25 sitting MPs in the state. Half of the Congress candidates and a quarter of the BJP ones are either children or close relatives of existing leaders. This suggests that both parties have found it convenient to mobilize election resources and Modi government and voter support by handing over the task to well-entrenched political families. In these Lok Sabha elections, the BJP-JDS coalition will have the most long-term salience for politics in Karnataka. The transfer of JDS votes to BJP in pockets of the Hyderabad, Karnataka and Mumbai, Karnataka regions will prove electorally helpful for Modi government. BJP making inroads in the old Mysore region, a stronghold of anti-BJP sentiments and has been historically dominated by the pros-JDS vocaligas, will be significant. However, uncertain BJP's electoral fortunes may prove in other South Indian states. Its presence in Karnataka is only growing more stable. In the wake of the BJP-JDS coalition in these elections, Congress will also gain from the transfer of minority votes from JDS to itself. Local JDS leaders who cannot reconcile to their party's alliance with the Hindutva-focused party are likely to move over to Congress. Can JDS, which has admitted that it joined NDA for reasons of political survival, cultivate new equations between the Lingayats and the Vocaligas, two of Karnataka's numerically, politically and economically dominant castes, which have graviated to BJP and JDS respectively? Will its support base in the old Mysore region see Lingayat voters replace the voters from religious minorities whose presence alongside the Vocaliga voters had historically proven the winning electoral formula? In case of NDA's national victory, while getting a ministerial berth in the union cabinet mean arrival of JDS local strength, will JDS retain enough of the ideological distinctness to contest elections on its own in future, or will the BJP-JDS coalition prove a decisive step towards a polarization of politics in Karnataka, which has been characterized by a three-way party competition for decades? If Karnataka Congress performs well in these elections, it will shore up Congress presence within the India coalition. Its welfareist thrust is likely to endure as a feature of state administration in years to come. Women and the poor will also emerge as important electoral blocs that all political parties will wish to endear themselves to. At Newark University, police swept in to arrest 133 protesting students Monday night, ending a standoff with the school's administration. At Yale University, police placed protesters reached into zip ties Monday morning and escorted them onto campus shuttles to receive summons for trespassing. Columbia kept its classroom doors closed Monday, moving lectures online and urging students to stay home. Howard Yard was shut to the public nearby at campuses including Tufts and Emerson. Administrators weighed how to handle encampments and looked much like the one that police dismantled at Columbia last week, which protesters quickly deserted. On the west coast, a new encampment bubbled at the University of California, Berkeley, less than a week after the arrest of over 100 protesters at Columbia. Administrators at some of the country's most influential universities were struggling to calm campuses torn by the conflict in the Gaza Strip and Israel. An Australian court has ordered X to hide some posts commenting on the stabbing of a bishop in Sydney, deepening a war of words between the social media platform's owner Elon Musk and Australian PM Anthony Albanese. Australia's federal court on Monday granted the country's cyber regulator a 2-day injunction requiring the social media platform to hide some posts on a knife attack last week against an Assyrian church bishop during a service at this church. Albanese on Tuesday hit out at Musk, calling him an arrogant billionaire for pushing back against the Australian government's request. X had blocked the content for users in Australia but said it will not block the post for users outside the country, arguing that the government had no authority to dictate content users can see globally. Does the PM think he should have jurisdiction over all the earth? Musk wrote. Mark Stoinis had threatened a few times, but no one expected him to pull off a chase of this magnitude, and definitely not the CSK's den, the MA Chidambaram Stadium. The Aussie all-rounder smashed an outstanding 124 not out of 63 balls that helped Lucknow Super Giants pull off the biggest chase ever at Chepauk, eventually winning by 6 wickets. They reached the target of 211 with 3 balls to spare, with Stoinis destroying CSK's death over specialist Mustafizur Rahman and Matisha Pathirana. Mustafizur had 17 runs to play with in the last over, but Stoinis started with a 6 and the Bangladesh bowler did not know where to hide. He tried bowling the Yorker, but the Aussie went deep into the crease and played over the bowler's head to 4, taking the game away from the host. It helped Lucknow to the double on CSK in a span of 5 days, leaving Ruturaj Gaikwad's men outside the top 4 of the first time in the season. While Stoinis was outstanding at the end, Nicholas Pooran provided with the momentum in the middle overs. When Pooran get out of the Pathirana in the 17th over, CSK fans may have thought they have dodged a bullet, but Stoinis had other ideas as he and Deepak Hooda took 15 of the 19th over bowled by Pathirana, and then it was down to the Aussie to show why he is one of the best finishers around. But before all that, it was Ruturaj shown as he became the first ever CSK skipper to score a century. His 108 not out 60 balls was the cornerstone of the CSK solid 210 for 4 in 20 years. Shivam Dube also playing a characteristic cameo to help CSK race away at the back end of the innings, but the first 10 overs were all about Ruturaj. He lost opening partner Ajinkya Rahane early, while Derry Mitchell at the number 3 could not make much of the life that he got when he was on 4. But losing the couple of early wickets hardly bothered Ruturaj. He was at his free-flowing best, hitting those crisp shots that keep finding the gaps. Ruturaj chose to not take undue risk against the likes of Matt Henry and Mohsin Khan, and the best thing about his innings was his ability to play around the ground. Knowing the Chepauk conditions well, Ruturaj understands that trying to use brute force here could sometimes be counterproductive. That measured approach without compromising on the pace of the inning helped CSK recover quite well after the initial hiccup. Rajasthan pacer Sandeep Sharma, who was out nursing an injury for almost a month but made an impactful comeback with a 5-wicket haul against Mumbai Indians on Monday night, said he is more comfortable bowling with a new ball in the T20s now. Although he is the team's designated death over specialist, the 30-year-old Sharma, who registered career best figures of 4 over for 5 wickets, Royals won by 9 wickets chasing 180, was given an opportunity to bowl upfront in the power play and repaid the faith with 2 wickets. He returned at the back end in a more familiar role as a death over and added 3 more to his tally. I love bowling with a new ball, and if you ask me where I feel more comfortable and happy, I would say with the new ball, Sandeep said. It was the first time this season that the seamer was made to bowl in the power play. Sharma, who has played 119 IPL games, feel it is challenging job to bowl at the death given that the dynamics have changed after the introduction of the impact player rule. Letting go to Yuzvendra Chahal is something RCB could retreat for the longest time, and the franchise's former director of cricket, Mike Hesse, feels the franchise made a miscalculation in the last IPL auction. Chahal has scripted history by becoming the first bowler in IPL to take 200 wickets. Yuzi is one I will be frustrated with until I have finished my career. He is an outstanding bowler. When it comes to every circle, you have to decide who you are going to retain. If you only retain 3 players, you give yourself an extra rupees 4 crore in the auction that potentially gave us in the chance to get both Harshal and Yuzi, Hassan told JioCinema. Then the order of the auction came up and the Chahal was at number 65. We were interested in Hasaranga as another option if we did not get Yuzi. So we bid for him upfront, and then once we got Hasaranga, we could not go for Yuzi.